Welcome to Texas Rye Whiskey Studies for episode number 6. Tonight, the 20th of May, 2025, we're going to examine another product from the Acre Distillery here in Fort Worth. Now, I've previously studied the 3 rye whiskeys that they've produced over the years, and last time I looked at the Longhair Jim Straight Bourbon, 88 proof. But tonight, we're moving up to the Longhair Jim Straight Bourbon 100 proof single barrel. This is a straight bourbon, meaning that it is aged at least 2 years, but there's no age statement on the bottle. This 100 proof edition is the single barrel selection, but there's no barrel number on the bottle either. The mash bill is on the label: 75% corn, 21% rye, 4% malted barley. I purchased this at the Acre Distillery in November of 2024 for about $63. Tasting notes. This is a rich high rye bourbon with a dark sweetness. Not quite molasses, but it's deeper than honey. I'm going to call it sorghum syrup. A little bit of leather, tobacco, and coffee. This whiskey's got a medium dose of the Texas funk. So if you are not used to that flavor, it may startle you. I love watching videos of folks tasting a Texas whiskey for the first time, and they genuinely do not know what to make of this Texas flavor. There's a rich mouthfeel here. It's a long finish. The burn is focused in the mouth, didn't go up in my sinuses, didn't give me a Texas hug down here. So it's actually pretty smooth, although that word is overused. Comes in, I think, lighter than its 100 proof would indicate. I gave it a score of 91. Letter grade for drinkability, A+. My recommendation. This is a wonderful example of what the Texas bourbons have to offer. When it comes to that Texas funk, you're either going to love it or hate it. There's no sitting on the fence here, or you'll get cut by the barbed wire. Now, if you're unsure of the Texas funk, you may start out with the 88 proof Longhair Jim, because it is mild compared to this 100 proof. This is a pretty bold whiskey. If you tend to like high rye bourbons like Old Grandad, Blanton's, Knob Creek, you should like Longhair Jim. This is clearly one of my favorites. Now for the details. History. Acre Distilling is named for that part of Fort Worth just south of downtown in which the distillery stands. It's the old Hell's Half Acre. Many towns in the Old West had a red light district, and several of those were nicknamed Hell's Half Acre. So the one in Fort Worth was typical for the Old West. Acre Distillery began in 2015 when Tony Formby, a former majority owner of Rahr & Sons Brewery here in Fort Worth, left Rahr and brewing beer to start distilling spirits. They at Acre Distillery started off with gin, vodka, rum, liqueurs, their bourbon, single malts, and a rye whiskey. All this is in their lineup. They keep running out of their rye for some reason, due to demand, and each of their 3 ryes has been unique and different from the others. So for history, 5 out of 5 points. Bottle, label, and marketing. Their single barrel expressions tend to use these taller bottles, whereas their regular expressions use the shorter bottles. There you go. That's the difference. I like these taller bottles and the labels. To me, it's a more classical look. It's more bold and beautiful on the label there. Got a larger picture of Longhair Jim, the Marshal of Fort Worth, Jim Courtright. They use a real cork in the stopper. And the motto of Acre Distillery is here on every bottle: Lord, make us good, but not right now. This is a single barrel pick available at the distillery only. I get Acre's ads and notices on Facebook and Instagram, and sometimes an email. Now that last bit is a little bit hit or miss. I keep putting myself on the email list, and I get emails for a while and then they stop. So I'm not sure what's going on with that. But marketing for these small craft distilleries can be a problem, especially for special releases like this. So 4 out of 5 points for bottle, label, and marketing. Appearance. Now, when I hold these two bottles up, let's see here. You can see that the 88 proof is significantly lighter than the 100 proof. Just like that. And then when you hold the glass up, I mean, this is a nice, thick, rich look to it. I prefer darker looking whiskeys, just aesthetically. So in the glass, that's fairly dark, so it's really between a 3 and a 4. I'll give it a 4 on my 5-point scale. 4 out of 5. Composition. When I told you a while ago that they give the mash bill here on the bottle. So this is 75% corn, 21% rye, 4% malted barley, all grown in Texas, the bottle says. So this is grain to glass, Texas. But they don't specify the varieties of corn or rye. And a lot of whiskey companies here in Texas go to that much detail. They'll tell you which kind of rye, which kind of corn go in there. So that's the only thing they don't really put in there. And it's a non-age stated whiskey. So we know it's at least 2 years because of the straight designator. But beyond that, still you got remarkable clarity there. So I'm going to say 14 out of 15 points for the composition of this whiskey. Now let's go to the nose. There's some sweetness there, but it's not as dark as molasses, and it's not light like honey. It's not floral. So I'm going to say this is more like sorghum syrup. I don't know if you ever had sorghum syrup, but it's a little bit lighter in flavor and everything from molasses. Dark fruits maybe, but I get some leather, some coffee, maybe tobacco, a touch of the Texas funk on the nose. Really, it's a very nice, rich nose. 8 out of 10, and my nose is really insufficient, and most bourbons I can't smell. So the fact that I can smell something on a bourbon, but frequently with Texas whiskeys, if it's got a lot of the Texas funk, I'll be able to smell it. 8 out of 10 points. Taste. This is a rich high rye bourbon. It does have a small to medium dose of the Texas funk, that woody charred flavor imparted by the Texas climate as it interacts, as the whiskey interacts with the wood a lot. The sweetness here again is darker. You get those hints of tobacco, leather, coffee that are going on there, maybe some chocolate. When I drink this, I have no problem escaping reality in this present time and slipping back to the late 1800s, feeling like I'm in a saloon in Hell's Half Acre, sipping this. I don't get vanilla or cinnamon, as is common in Kentucky bourbons. I don't get any citrus. This is all darker and richer than that. For me, this is a home run in my taste profile, my wheelhouse. I'm wishing it had a little bit more of the Texas funk. But really, that's good. That's rich. 24 out of 25 points. Mouthfeel, burn, and finish. The mouthfeel is full. It's rich. Coats your mouth very nicely. You get the strong tingle focused in the mouth. Doesn't really go up into my sinuses. Doesn't give me a Texas hug going down. So I'm going to call it smooth, even though it's bold. Now the word smooth is frequently overused. So I mean, it lets you know it's a whiskey. You get a nice little tingle, slow burn in the mouth. but it's drinkable. I mean, it doesn't hurt going down or going up. I tend to like the burns a little bit, and so this one comes in underneath its proof. This is 100 proof, and I've had some 90 proof whiskeys that had 80 proof whiskeys that had more of a burn than this does. So this is remarkably smooth. The flavors and the burn linger for a long finish. Maybe a little bit astringent on the finish. That's just rich. So 14 out of 15 points for mouthfeel, burn, and finish. Neat or mixer? I think this is perfect neat. It handles that 100 proof nicely, so putting this on ice would be great, I'm sure, in the summertime. But at this price point, I don't know that I would personally use this in a cocktail. Now I can see maybe a pecan old-fashioned or a smoky old-fashioned. I can see that being fantastic with this. Definitely. So, but at this price point of over $60, I don't like using expensive whiskeys for mixer, but you do you. I am happy with this neat. So neat or mixer, 5 out of 5 points. Price, value, and availability. So again, at about $63 at the distillery, I think that's probably a fair price for a Texas craft whiskey. It's worth it, definitely. The taste produces the value. And so this is a good value at that price. The problem is not the price, not the value, it's the availability. This is a single barrel and it's limited distribution at the distillery. So you would have to go to the distillery to get this. However, I have seen the 100 proof Longhair Jims available at the store, Goody Goody, in Fort Worth. Now, I don't know how wide their distribution is, but I do know you can get their regular 100 proof bourbon out there in the wild somewhere. So this is the single barrel, so it's a pick by the distiller, but I don't know what the distribution of the regular 100 proof is. So I think availability is the issue here, so 8 out of 10 points. Bonus points. This distillery is one of 5 in Fort Worth, and it is the one that I've been to the most. It's easy access for me, 12 minutes from the house. It's small but has excellent service. I've always had great service there. And again, this single barrel is amazing, so bonus 5 out of 5 points. And that gives me my total score of 91. My letter grade is drinkability. The score evaluates everything about the whiskey that I can possibly throw in there. Letter grade, how much do I like to drink this? This is an A+ whiskey. Definitely. About the only Kentucky whiskeys that I would say are the equal to or better than this. Blanton's, Colonel E.H. Taylor, Old Forester 1920 maybe, yeah. But otherwise, I mean, to me, I just love the Texas flavor. So this is an A+ whiskey. So my recommendation, I think that Longhair Jim single barrel 100 proof is an excellent example of what Texas bourbons have to offer. Now, when it comes to the Texas funk, you're either going to love it or hate it. There's no sitting on the fence or you get cut by the barbed wire. I've watched a lot of whiskey reviewers who've never had Texas whiskeys before, and they suddenly review a Texas whiskey and they go, what did I just drink? I mean, it's hard to grasp. It's hard to understand. Now, if you are in Cowtown or Big D, come on over and give Acre a visit and try a glass of this magnificent bourbon there in the distillery. See if they have any bottles left. If not, then in the stores, you can find their other regular issue 100 proof, which will be close to the single barrel edition. Now, if you are unsure of the Texas funk, you might want to start off with the 88 proof right here, somewhere. There. The 88 proof really tamps down on the Texas funk, but it still has some nice rich flavors. This is really a very bold whiskey. If you tend to like high rye bourbons like Old Granddad, Blanton's, Knob Creek, you should like Longhair Jim. This is clearly one of my favorites. Well, that does it for Texas Rye Whiskey Studies tonight. Have a good evening and out here.